All right, Shalom. We're going to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the Akim out there pushing the word in sincerity and in truth. It's the brothers from GMS Atlanta, and we just got a lesson going into the power of inconvenience in his ministry. As brothers was talking about a situation about basically how it's going to be a lot of inconveniences in this truth. Starting off with, the scripture speaks about how when you come to serve the Lord, you got to prepare your soul for temptations. And that temptation can also link into inconveniences, man. A lot of times, things might pop up in the spirit that might not fit your regularly scheduled program, so to speak. But you got to learn how to roll with the punches, man. The Lord, he sees it fit for the men of the Lord to go through obstacles and certain situations that's outside of the norm, but what does it do? It keeps you on the edge, man. It keeps your spirit hot. It keeps you jolted. It keeps your faith up. Through them straits. It puts that fight or flight, so to speak, mentality, where you have to go hard or go home, man. Yeah. And that's what the Lord is all about. The Lord is looking for men to go hard in this ministry, the men to bust their ass. And a lot of times it's just situations that might not be conducive or convenient. And I'm going to start with this definition of inconvenient because, going into the topic of the lesson, just to bring it all home. But it says causing trouble, difficulties, or discomfort.
Discomfort.
Yep. And that word discomfort is to take away from your comfort, your comfortability. What the Apostle Gabar said, that comfort is the enemy.
Yeah.
So what should you befriend? You should befriend discomfort.
Yeah.
When you in these certain situations and you got to push the word at certain times of the night, certain times of the morning, right before, right before work, sometimes during work, but after work, getting up with certain brothers, having to deal with brothers' counsel. Sometimes you might be tired and a brother might hit you on the jack, hit you on the phone, and he might need to go through get talked through a situation, but you got to deal with these inconvenient situations, man. You got to minister unto the little ones, minister unto the babes. Stay attentive in the faith, and walk that course, because this is a perdition of difficulty. This is a walk of turbulence. It ain't just going to be a march forward, so to speak. It's curves. There's all kind of different things, ups and downs, lefts, rights. Yeah. It's all kind of different windy roads and all these sharp turns that come with this faith, man. That's why it's discomfort. You want to say something, brother?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you comfortable and you're in the truth, man, it's something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You don't just want to just sit in your comfort, because you're not going to be prepared for anything.
That's right.
And
just like when you look at these military movies and these different people in these intelligence groups, they all about training different people on how to stand in discomfort or difficult situations. It's not about, just like the brother was saying, it's not about the comfort. It's not about being at your desk and you just typing in words and then after your shift, you cool, clock in, clock out. Nah, you always on the clock.
Yeah.
24 hour on the clock. Whenever you even think that it's time to rest, you got to jump up and do other things, man. Because just like I said earlier, it keeps you on the edge, man.
That's right.
The edge is the importance of this faith. So these are synonyms are also to carry along with the word inconvenience. It says awkward, difficult, inappropriate, inopportune. So it's basically out of your opportune time, so to speak. Untimely, ill-timed, unsuitable, inappropriate, unfortunate, tiresome, troublesome, irritating, annoying, vexing, bothersome. And that's this truth, man. This truth it'll sometimes be ill-timed. It's a burden.
Yeah, you gotta make the truth a burden.
That's right.
That's how you know things are going the right way when the truth is a burden to you.
That's right. And it's about carrying that burden, not letting the burden break you down, but you walking with the burden that's on your back, man. You got to be a strong ass in this truth. This is a go hard or go home type of thing, man. But they say don't have the brother Pasha, he brings out don't have fast whole ass, man. Just like I was saying earlier, you gotta be like an ass, man. A donkey is known to carry heavy loads. He's known as the beast of burden.
Yeah.
And we're these spiritual beasts of burden because we're carrying what? The burden of Yahweh Shai. Yahushua died, but the burden of the ministry still fell on men. At the time of Yahushua's ministry, after his departure, the ministry fell on Peter, James, and John, which what the scriptures speak about, who they seem to be pillars. Because when you look at the pillar structure, when you look at houses, the pillars are doing what? They're holding it and maintaining. They're holding all that weight, you know? So it's the same thing. And us brothers that actually, you know, carry also the torch of Yahushua, starting off with the apostles on down, we have to carry that weight of Yahushua. We have to do the work. We got to blow the trumpet. We have to defend the gospel. You know, stand up manfully, be faithful watchmen. Push this truth, look into these scriptures, study. You know, study to show ourselves approved. Because just like the elder brother Yashawamba was saying, there's attack on truth. And as these different individuals keep trying to attack this faith, we have to defend the faith. We're the defenders of this gospel. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we're doing those things. Time is going to be against you.
That's right.
You know, if you're always against time, man, that's a good sign. You know, you may be up at 2:00 in the morning, but you got to be to work at 5. You know, you're gonna get spiritually blessed for doing those acts. You know.
That's right. And I got a precept. It's Matthew 11:28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. See, the Lord said that his yoke is easy and his burden is light, and to take it. All right, take it and bear the burden. And nonetheless, even though it's light, you still have to bear it nonetheless, man.
God.
Just like Yahushua, like I spoke about how Yahushua, he had to carry that cross physically, you know, leading up to his crucifixion, and prior to him carrying it physically, he carried it spiritually. That's why he told individuals that came into this truth, they were to bear their cross. All right, and some individuals, they heard what Yahushua said, and they went along and they bared the cross, and some individuals didn't want to take part in that ministry because they knew it was going to be something that was going to inconvenience them. Case in point, the individual didn't want to give up his riches because it said he had too many riches. Yahushua tried him on inconvenient situations. He said basically give up all that you possess and follow me. And the scriptures speak about how the man wasn't willing to do that because he had much riches. That was what an inconvenient situation. Lord willing, I could find it. But that's another situation too in the faith too. You're not gonna have money, and the little bit that you may have, you got to give. You know, because the Lord tries you. The Lord tries you as that faithful widow with the two mites. The little bit that you got is you gonna give. If you might have a car that's you know partially jacked up, you know you might want an updated car, so to speak. Is you gonna ride till the wheels fall off to go pick up brothers, to do the work, so to speak. You know, to go to camp. You know, to pull up on brothers to push this truth, or is you going, nah, bro, I ain't in a position I wanna be at. You know, maybe later on, let me grind hard in the world. Nah, it don't work like that, man. Nah. We gotta grind hard for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's right. This is Sirach 2:1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Right, and that's the thing in this truth, man. Is you have to endure, man. This truth is a walk of endurance. It's a walk of dedication. And the scriptures speak about how the race is not given unto the swift either, because this is definitely a race, and you have to strive. You have to maintain. All right, you gotta stay strong. You gotta stay hydrated by the spiritual water. You know, sometimes you might trip. Hey, sometimes a brother might trip. And you got to carry that brother in the race. That's right. Just like when you watch these military movies, a man might get shot in the leg or something like that, and you can't leave him behind. You got to carry him. You got to carry him. That's a part of your birth. Carrying another. Hey, you see that when you watch movies like The Passion of Yahushua or The Passion of Christ, shows how like Yahushua was basically weak. You know, when you watch the different films and you see the individuals. I forget the individual name. If I'm not mistaken, it was Joseph. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he actually helped Yahushua bear that cross. So it's the same thing too. We're fellow yokemen. And as fellow yokemen, we have to bear that cross together. Sometimes you might go through a situation and you might need to lean on a brother, man. And then, are you gonna be like that brother? Well, damn, I already got enough weight on me. Don't lean on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to be that faithful kickstand, so to speak. A brother lean on you. You got to be that strong defense, man. And that's another importance too, because the scriptures speak about having a faithful friend. A faithful friend sticketh close to a brother. So it's all kind of different aspects of inconvenience that come with this faith. This faith is all but convenient. It's a burden, but we have to bear it. All right, so I'm gonna get this one other scripture. Yeah, this is 1 Timothy 1:18. This charge I commit unto thee, son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went before on thee, that thou by them mightest war a good warfare. Right, and in this truth, you're fighting and struggling. All right, tooth and nail. It gets tiresome. You know, you might get knocked down. This is that spiritual boxing match, man. You know, you might get knocked down a lot. You know, you might be in that mentality of wanting to throw in the towel, but you can't, because you got to fight for the bigger picture, man. It's not for you, but it's not only for your salvation, but it's for your salvation and them that believe, man. Because you got certain brothers that actually lean and depend on each other. Even though this is a fight for every man, this is every man for himself, so to speak. But we're a brotherhood, man. Mm-hmm. And some things that you do as a leader or a shepherd, if you fall short and you give up in the race, that can affect the next man.
Yep.
And likewise, if you go hard in the race, that can affect the next man too. To do what? Go hard. He sees you going hard. He sees you striving and pushing. That's gonna do what? It's gonna excite him to push harder.
If I could say too, it's all for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go through things for a reason. You got to be uncomfortable and inconvenienced for a reason. Mm-hmm. It's all to build your faith.
That's right.
You know.
And Paul, he understood that. He was going through certain things. You know, it spoke about in Corinthians how he suffered shipwreck. He got beat. He went through a slew of things, man. Mm-hmm. But it was all for the picture, or for his faith to be built up for the ones after him. So not only was it testing his faith, his integrity and endurance, but it was also actually helping others gauge his path and the course that he walked through, so that their faith could be built. That's why we can actually read these words and we don't have to necessarily go through exactly what Paul went through, and we get our faith built up through his sufferings, man. Because that's that spiritual and living inspiration, reading the testimonials and the living testament, so to speak, that these individuals wrote down, and we can actually read it, and it actually inspires us to go harder, man, to fight harder in the faith. So I'm going to read that what Paul was speaking about. This is Philippians 1:13. Matter of fact, I'll start at 12. But I would you should understand, brethren, that the things which happened unto me have fallen out rather unto the furtherance of the gospel. So he understood that. He understood what the hell, all that hell and temptation that he was catching wasn't because the Lord wanted to bully him and the Lord just didn't mess with him. I mean, just wanted to mess with him, man. All right, or didn't mess with him. The Lord didn't. The Lord actually had love, and the Lord, as the scripture says, chastising the one that he loves. The Lord was chastising him through love. All right, he was actually putting those stripes on him so that he could actually be what? A laborer to actually behold, to look up upon. All right, so he says unto the furtherance of the gospel.
The furtherance of the gospel, man. You got to be inconvenienced to push this gospel, push the truth, to glorify Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, man. You can't do that being comfortable in your room, laying in the bed, man. You know? How can you glorify Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah if you want to just chill all day? You know, it don't work like, chill and watch movies.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah, and eat snacks all day. It don't work like that, man. You got to become that new man, take off those filthy garments, man. You know? And you gotta push, man. Namely on the highways and byways, push on these Saturdays, these live streams with the brothers. You know, just like I said, sometimes you might be working a little 8-hour, 10-hour shift. You know, brothers might want to get up and do the work together, but you gotta push, man. You gotta push with those brothers. You know, because we all carry a certain gift, and your gift rubs off on the next man. So it's all about presenting your gift on the altar. And continuing on,
it says, verse 13, so that my bonds in Yahushua are manifest in all the palace and in all other places. So in the spiritual palace of Yahushua, everybody's seen that. Like it speaks about in Hebrews, that big cloud of witnesses. Everybody's witnessing what we're going through in the spirit, man. We put it out to the world, man. You got different individuals that scoff, but nonetheless, they see that we sticking with it. They see that we pushing, starting off with Apostle Har down. Everybody has something to say about Apostle Har, all right? But one thing they have to accept and actually have to give him credit to is that he's enduring in this thing, man. He endured 20, 30 plus years. All right, the apostles and elders on down endured, all right, through the hell and all the turmoil that came with the territory of this faith. They stuck with it.
That's right.
So just like Paul spoke about how it manifests in all the palace and in all other places. In verse 14, and many of the brethren in the Lord, waxing confident by my bonds, are much more bold to speak the word without fear. Because they seen that, why were they able to speak the word without fear and waxing stronger by the bonds and the situation, the hell that Paul was catching? Because they seen that he was strong in those situations. They see that he didn't budge, and he didn't falter, so to speak. He didn't waver. So they was like, damn, he ain't wavering through these situations. I need that faith. They coveted that faith. They were like, all right, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna go just as hard as him, because I see a living example on how to be faithful, on how to endure. All right, and that's how we have to be one to another. So even the brothers that's actually, getting the most pegs, so to speak, in these camps, because different brothers catch different levels of hell. And if the Lord putting a lot of hell on you, that's for a reason, man. For you to be a testament. All right, for you to inspire others around you on how to go hard, even though you're going through the struggle.
Yeah.
So, that's the main point, and I'm gonna end it with this last scripture, or we'll end it with this last scripture.
Yeah.
So, give me 1 second. Let's see if I can find it real fast. So, 1 Peter 4:4, it says, For as much then as Yahushua have suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, for he that have suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin. All right, so we're gonna have to suffer in this thing, man. It's known as the sufferings of Yahushua. This is the passion. You gotta be passionate in the spirit of Yahushua, man. Right. And the word passion goes into the word paisio, which means pain. Look at these different individuals that's serious about their craft. They have to suffer, man. What do they say? Blood, sweat, and tears.
That's right.
All right, giving it they all. Sometimes they get the injuries on the injuries.
They gotta push through it.
They gotta push through it. They might be sick. May have infirmities. They gotta push through it. You got certain brothers that in our camp, for example, that came to camp on injury, so to speak. They didn't take time off. You had this brother with a messed up leg. He messed his knee up. He did a testimony on that, but he was like it wasn't nothing. He wasn't, oh, bro, man, my leg fucked up. I don't know if it's gonna get back right, bro. Right. Nah, he was like, man, hey, Yahweh Shema Shah still with me. I'm catching a little bit of hell, but hey, the Lord's still with me. I'm still trying to come out there.
On crutches.
On crutches. If he could grab a precept with the, on the crutches, he would do so, man. Yeah. And that built brothers' faith. Like, all right, man, if I'm going through that situation, guess what? I'm going to go out there regardless.
That's right.
Because I seen this man's faith. So that's what it's all about, man. It's a each one teach one thing. It's a power in being inconvenienced, man.
That's right.
Because what happens when you convenient? You get, just like the brother was saying, you get lazy. You get slothful. You cool because you'll let others do the work because you in a good situation. And that ain't the times that we in. We all have to bear this burden of Yahushua through these inconvenient situations. You want to say something? Yeah, so that's all we have for you, Akim. Hopefully you brothers were edified. We're going to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Mills.